Hi, my name is Willie, and in this video we're going to talk about this poor old Sears Craftsman. I bought this tractor for $80. The engine had compression on it, and the deck seemed to be okay. It was not rotted out, and the blades were spinning. Three of the tires were flat. Only this newer tire was holding air when I got it. And I like the fact that it had the hydrostatic. So I started tearing into it a few days ago, and the engine just was not going to be something that was going to run. Didn't want to crank over easy. It was binding up because all the magnets had come loose on the flywheel, so they could have been re-glued. Next thing is the bolts had broke off in the heads. You could go without them. One over there came out, but 3 of the 4 bolts up in the front had broken off. Then I went to get into the carburetor, and the low-speed needle tip was broke off in the carburetor, so it would need a carburetor. So it was just getting into it wasn't really looking too good. And then if you look at back here, there's a ton of oil leaking out the sump. So by the time you buy the gasket kit, a carburetor, and glue to glue the magnets back on and get it all going, on top of the $80 I had into it, and putting 2 tubes in it because two tires were going flat, it was just going to cost more money than what it was worth. But there's still a lot of good parts on here. I'm going to put this tractor out behind my shed since it's got the hydrostatic on it. I don't want to get rid of it. I took the PTO lever off for my Craftsman over here because it's got the same PTO lever, and that button gets used a lot between putting the deck up. I also saved the electric clutch, all the wiring out of it, different stuff like that. Another thing I might take out of this in the future is this has a cast iron axle on it. All my other tractors have the welded steel. So that would be an upgrade for the tractors. I might change that out in the future. So that's a nice part to have. That gets rid of that twist on your axle, so you don't get as much play in your steering. And then I can actually put a grease fitting in there so it'll move a little bit more freely and stuff like that. So that'll be an upgrade probably I'll do in the future. So I'm not going to get rid of this thing. And who knows, I might find a tractor that runs that just has a broken hood or grill, because the grill is actually intact on this. It's not cracked, broken, or warped or anything like that. Might even be a nice upgrade for on my other tractors. I'd paint it silver and put it on that one. I don't know. I think I'll be fine the way it is. The way those are. I don't need this hood. I already swapped the seats out. That seat was in better shape than this one. I swapped them. This one's not even bolted. But yeah, that's what I was cutting grass on. So we're going to take this and put this out of the way. Then I'm going to get back to that tractor after I clean up this huge mess. But there's more to this shop update. I picked something up first thing this morning. Let me go up. Give me a hang on a minute. Okay. I got that. It has a hitch. It has an offset. That bolt adjusts this rod in and out. You can have one rod on either side, or you can have 2, one on one side, one on the other. This hitch is kind of hard to find because this is for a very special attachment that you don't see very often. A Simplicity made rotary trailing mower. The real deal. The deck is quite rough, but these attachments go behind the Simplicity's late 60s or early 70s. This is a foot dragger tractor deck. So when they went to the runner board tractors like my Allis-Stromer 712H, they quit making these decks after a period of time. So these were only made for a few years. I don't know how many years exactly, but they weren't around for very long when the foot dragger tractors, the flat hood tractors disappeared. These disappeared. These were for commercial use, so as with everything commercial, they use it, beat it, maybe they'll keep it going, maybe they'll just scrap it. So a lot of these things were just used within an inch of their life. And the guy I bought this actually had a business. They were cutting grass commercially. They had a 11-foot swipe cut with 2 V's in the tractor. They're outrunning 0 turns when it comes to just getting grass done in a short period of time, so it's really cool to see these. They were actually had their business going up until 2004, and they sold a bunch of equipment, and this was the extra that went to the owner's house because he had a bigger yard. So I don't know what ever became of the other units, but they actually, when they bought 2 of these, they loved them and they went to buy more and they had discontinued them. They actually had a shop make some of these from scratch because they liked them so much, and they took care of them. They actually wore out the original 8 horsepower engine and repowered it with the 10 horse. It had the 10 horse on it. I asked him if he would knock $50 off if he wanted to keep the motor, because I want to get a more period correct looking engine for this. I have the pulley that goes on the engine, but I don't have the starter cup that would go on the end of the engine. I'll go more into detail on another day, but I'm thinking I can take one of the starter cups off of the tractors and weld in the factory slots for the rope knot and cut reverse direction knots out of it so I can start it so it looks correct. The only thing I wouldn't have, the only part I am missing besides the rope cup is the belt guard that would have gone on this side as well. So I'll take this out to shows. I might get it up and running. I'm going to keep an eye out for another 48-inch deck. I had 2 at one time that had rust over here, but it was very easily to fix kind of rust, but I sold them because I didn't have anything that the 48-inch decks would have fit, so I kind of regret that now. But still has the original Simplicity tire in the back. I don't know if the fronts are original. I have to do more research on that. They could be, but I'm not sure. So there's our shop update for you. If you like the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and have a good day. Bye.